Hey there, today I will teach you the best travel tips for winter trips
in 2020 and 2021.
You will learn packing tips for winter travel, airport tips for this 2020 winter season, and tips for traveling in an airplane with all of that outerwear in cold weather. We need to pack clothes for the possibility of rain, sleet, and snow during the winter, and those clothes tend to be bulkier or heavier pieces. Some of you may travel again during Christmas, and I have some tips that will ease your way through airport security. I will also remind you of the newest Transportation Security Administration changes to their rules of going through airport security. These new rules came out during the pandemic, so I want to set you up for success for your winter travel. This is a long list of winter travel tips. By the end, you are going to be able to pack and get through the airport with my best travel tips for this winter season. You're going to be less stressed because you stressed less. Let's talk about clothes during winter travel. I want you to pack thin layers so that you can fit them all in your carry-on suitcase. Pack merino wool sweaters, cashmere sweaters. I know Talbot sells a ton of cashmere sweaters. I pack really thin fleece pullovers. The zip comes down halfway, but they're really thin. They're not a thick like North Face type fleece. Just pack a couple of thin cardigans that you can pull off when you do get warm in the winter, like driving in the car on a sunny day during the winter. You want to pull off that cardigan. I would pack a couple of long sleeve t-shirts. Stripes is a good neutral that can go with lots of different colors. If you've packed a thin outerwear layer, you can have 2 layers and you'll be warm enough. Thin plaid is a great option. You can put a cardigan on top of that. I also recommend a few pairs of short sleeve t-shirts. When you do get hot, it's good to have a short sleeve t-shirt for a variation of temperatures you might be vacationing in. I do recommend only packing one other pair of jeans or colored denim and make those mix and match with all of your t-shirts or sweaters. I have a video about 6 new packing methods that will help you choose like a method to start with. It's just a guide to help you pack. But I also thought of one during our travel during the pandemic, is that don't forget about your hangout time. When you are hanging out before you go somewhere or at night or after you've had a big dinner, you need some travel hangout clothes. Those can be leggings, those can be pajamas that are kind of that you can hang out in. Anyway, I'm rambling. Okay, for some travel tips for Christmas holidays. If you pack a Christmas present, do not wrap it because it blocks what's inside when it goes through airport security, and they need to be able to screen it easily or they will pull you out of line. It's only going to take a few more minutes of time, but with longer lines, you want to get through that airport security. I also recommend taking the product out of the box if you can. Just pack a few gift bags and tissue paper. You can iron tissue paper when you get to your destination. That's an idea. Another travel tip during the Christmas holidays is if you're traveling with gingerbread house kits, remember to take out the icing tubes and put those in your liquids bag. During the winter, there are some airport and airplane outfits I do not want you to wear. Take it from me, learning from my mistakes. Do not wear a poncho or a cape. First of all, it restricts your movements if you are wearing a backpack or a weekender bag that you are traveling with. It messes up your airport outfit if you care about airport fashion. You can still pack those pieces and wear them at your destination. I know that part of your winter airport style is to wear boots, but a travel tip for me and my mistakes is do not wear slide-on boots. You want a zipper so that you can take your shoe off of your leg easily without losing your balance if you are in regular airport security. Oh, and do not wear those gorgeous creamy white jeans or a creamy white colored sweater because of other people's mistakes. I have a whole video of what not to wear in the airport and in the airplane that I will link for you. It's an older video, but it is chock full of brilliant life lessons for what not to wear in the airport. When you park at the airport, remember to park with your hood facing out because when they are plowing the snow, it's a little easier to get out that way. And also, when we lived in DC, we needed to remember to bring something to dig out your car, a shovel or a wok. Remember that I am from Georgia, and when we got married, we lived outside of Washington, D.C. in Leesburg, Virginia, and it was the first snowstorm that we had experienced as my husband growing up in Arizona and me in Georgia, and we had not bought like winter gear or tools. My husband was gone on a trip, so I took a walk outside to dig my car out at the very beginning so I could just get out of my parking spot. If you are using a parking spot company, remember to reserve it early if you are traveling for Thanksgiving or for Christmas. If you have not bought your Thanksgiving travel tickets yet, be sure to read or watch my video about the 14 Thanksgiving travel tips before you buy those tickets. Remember to book earlier flights in the morning. If that flight is canceled, they might be able to fit you in on one of the recurring flights later in the day. Be ready for lines in airport security. Know ahead of time what to take out and what now needs to stay in your carry-on suitcase because of the new TSA rules. Ollie, you already have your coat for winter travel. That's awesome. Oliver and I have a video about how to pack your medicine if you have special needs going through airport security. I will link that in the iCards and in the description box below. If you've never flown before or if you have not gone through security, I will have a whole playlist called First Time in an Airplane on my YouTube channel. I will also link that for you. Pack less than you think you will need for winter trips. Sometimes you do not sweat as much, so you can re-wear those outfit pieces again. For those heavier sweaters that you're going to pack and not wear, I highly recommend compression packing cubes. Those are going to compress the air from between your clothes, giving you more space to pack another cube on top of that, for instance. I just got a set this fall and I love them, especially for the winter and fall seasons. Download your airline's app. That will tell you what seat you have. It will also be where you can check in for your flight, and it will put your ticket on your phone for going through airport security. On most airline apps, you can see where that plane is coming from, and you know if it's going to be delayed because of weather. And you will probably get notified if there is a gate change before the gate agents even get notified. If your identification has expired, do not worry, you can still travel. Check the TSA.gov and ID, like type those two words into Google and it'll pull it right up for you. They know that some of us have had trouble getting into our DMV. Also, download your airport app for restaurants, doggy relief stations, and connecting gate maps. It could be hot on the airplane, so be sure to wear layers that you can easily take off in a tight space and have some space in your personal item bag. In the summer, I get freezing cold in the airplane, and in the winter, I seem to burn up. I have 2 travel tips for the overhead bins in the airplane during the winter. Those bins are going to fill up quicker because people are traveling with heavy coats. They are traveling with gift packages that they need to have space for beside their carry-on suitcase up there. So here are 2 travel tips if this happens to you. Buy a ticket near the back of the airplane because they are still boarding from the back of the airplane toward the front. So all of these overhead bins will still be available as you get on the airplane. If those overhead bins do fill up, remember to have packed your essential items like medicines inside your personal item bag, just in case that bag now goes to baggage claim at your final destination and somehow gets lost. Pack shorter boots rather than your taller boots because you will have more space in your suitcase. I do have a video about 4 ways to pack your shoes. If you are traveling in the winter, I have tips and tricks that will help you. As we have traveled 5 times throughout this coronavirus pandemic, I have noticed that most of the airport restaurants are open again. Water fountains are all open again in the airports we've been in. A travel tip for water is you can always take an empty water bottle through regular airport security. You don't have to pull it out in security. And you can also take a water bottle filled with ice. Just when you get to airport security, drink the condensation before going through to be screened. Because of COVID-19, snacks and drinks are not served on all airlines. Check your airline's website, the COVID section, to find out more. I think American Airlines is the only one that is not serving any food and any drink. If you're saving your money by bringing your own snacks into the airplane, make sure you watch my video about how to pack food now going through security. They want all of it out in a clear bag, basically. A lot of food blocks items inside your carry-on suitcase or personal item bag that the TSA needs to screen. So they want the food out of there so that they can screen it with their X-ray screener and they don't have to pull you out and then touch. They're trying to cut down on the transmissibility of all germs and viruses. Remember that because of COVID-19, cloth face coverings are required in airports and in airplanes now. You can't even get into the jet bridge to an airplane without a cloth face covering. If you want to wear a plastic shield as well, you can, but first and foremost, you must have on that cloth face covering. And the most recent rule is that masks that have a vent in them are not allowed anymore on airplanes because your air particles, particulates, could get into the air and maybe infect someone. I have a video with all of the travel changes post COVID-19. An overview for regular airport security is that belt, wallets, keys all need to now stay in your carry-on bag or your personal item. They do not want those things to touch the gray bins. They're cutting down on the transmissibility of the virus. If you are a nervous flyer during this coronavirus pandemic, if you follow me on Instagram, Travel Tips by Laurie, you will see a little highlight on my bio, and in it I list all the facts about air and the hospital grade filters that airlines use. It might make you feel better like it did me. There is a way that you can go through airport security in a touchless way, and that is through the Clear program. You get 1 month free, and my travel tip is just to use it while you're traveling for the holidays and then cancel it, just so you can see if it's really worth it or if it helps you. If you do not have a personal item bag that you like, I highly recommend now one that has a light colored interior. I just got this fall because although I love this bag and will travel with it some, I absolutely will travel with this one a lot. It also has the little handle back there that goes over your suitcase handles so that your hands free. It has like 17 pockets. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I share it all on my Amazon Prime travel item video that I'll link for you. If you are flying Spirit Airlines, I have finally found a 14-inch bag that will fit under their limitations for luggage. It's an Amazon Basics brand, I believe, so it is affordable and you can return it for free if it's just awful, but it looks and sounds like very high quality. They even show a video of how you use it, I believe. Remember to pack shoes that are water resistant since you are dealing with unpredictable weather that could include wet weather. When you travel in the winter, you may need extra moisturizer. My travel tip is that you don't always have to travel with the travel size containers that you bought from the store. Divide that moisturizer up into smaller containers. When we lived near Washington, D.C., I would shock my hand on my car, even if it was raining. It was so dry there. And Denver, Colorado is another really dry area that you're gonna need that thick moisturizer. And I always recommend the Gold Bond for diabetics. It's just a super thick, non-smelly lotion. If you are traveling to the beach this winter, I have a video about traveling to the beach in the winter with some tips and tricks on how to pack. As I said earlier, I am a pilot wife here in Houston, Texas, and I share travel tips to help you travel the globe again one day without a worry in the world. Click the little bell and subscribe so that you never miss one of my free travel videos. Here are some travel tips for packing that outerwear during the winter. I personally have found that you do not really need that outer coat to get you from your parked car in the bus to the airport. I mean, it's painful, but you don't necessarily need it. I packed a sock hat, or if you're in Boston, a beanie, and then gloves, and wear that in the bus to the airport. It's a lot easier to pack a hat and a pair of gloves in your carry-on suitcase than a thick down coat, but if that is not an option, I have also just stuffed my down coat in this outside pocket of my suitcase and just kept it there. It fits in the overhead bin in the beach hotel closet. I just put it on a hanger until I'm ready to go. Another option is this down coat that I bought last year from a vending machine in the Houston airport. It comes with a little bag and they really are packable. I'll link mine, but you can find them anywhere. I think Walmart had some last winter. but there was no little bag, but you could use a compression cube. Know that hotels are majorly cleaned now. Even the remote control now comes in a little plastic baggie, and your door is sealed once it is cleaned. Like, you break the sticker as you open the door of your hotel room. But you also will not have cleaning service until you're gone. So if you need more towels or you want it cleaned for a certain reason, you do have to ask the hotel desk. I have a video with some great hotel tips and travel hacks that I will link for you, so be sure to check that out. Airplanes are also wiped down between every flight. They also give you a little antibacterial wipe that is pretty juicy that you can clean the seatbelt handle and your tray table. That was a huge relief to me just to have it. I'd sometimes forget to wash my hands after I go through security. For winter travel, know that the pilots are going to use de-icing fluids sometimes if there is frozen precipitation on takeoff. You do not need it if you are landing. But the thing to know is that it does have a smell, like a sulfur smell, and does not mean anything's wrong. You may already know this winter travel tip, but that is to wear your heaviest shoes inside the airplane, thus leaving you more space in that suitcase. I don't know if you are one of the lucky ones getting to go to Hawaii right now. I know United Airlines is offering rapid COVID tests the day of your flight, and now most airlines, the major airlines, do not charge change fees if you need to cancel that trip. We fly standby a lot, and especially when we fly to Europe, or we used to fly to Europe, we would make sure we got hotels with a good refund policy if that's an option for Hawaii. Let me know where you're flying to this winter. We have a teenage soccer athlete, so we cannot travel as much as we want to over the break, but say hello to Hawaii and Merry Christmas to y'all. Mele kaliki maka ta 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 ta. Have some croissants for me if you get to go to Paris, and don't forget to say hello if we haven't met yet. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it.